Hello everyone, good day. In this video, we are going to learn how to compute for our Incoterms. This is the part 2 that I created for the BSCA students, and this time, this will be the computation for your cost and freight. So again, Incoterms are a series of predefined commercial terms published by the International Chamber of Commerce relating to international laws. So these terms are the terms of sales of the buyer and the seller, and it will tell the extent of the risk and the responsibilities of the buyer and the seller. So here are your formulas for all the Incoterms, but in this video, we are going to focus on the CFR. So your CFR is FOB plus freight. So here are the sample problems for your CFR. The formula for the cost and freight or CFR is equal to FOB plus freight, and another one is CFR is equal to X works plus other charges plus freight. Example number 1. The given is FOB, which is $45,000, and the freight, which is $5,000. So we need to look for the CFR. To compute for the CFR, we first need to write the formula. CFR is equal to FOB plus freight. And then after that, you just need to substitute the values. So CFR is equal to FOB. So the given FOB is $45,000 plus freight, which is $5,000. So you just need to compute and calculate it using your calculator to get the CFR value of $50,000 US dollars. Another example for the computation of CFR. The givens are FOB, which is $2,545.32 US dollars, and your freight is 3% of your FOB. Find CFR. In this kind of problem, you just need to look or to compute for the 3% of what is being given. So in this case, it is 3% of FOB. The freight is equal to 3% of your FOB. Okay, so remember that. So to get the solution, you just need to write again the formula for CFR. So you're going to use CFR is equal to FOB plus freight. Okay, so and then substitute CFR is equal to $2,545.32 US dollars plus the 3% of FOB. So you just need to compute for the 3% of the FOB or 0.03 of 2,545.32. So when you compute for that, you're going to get 76.36 US dollars. And then substitute, continue 2,545.32 plus your freight, which is the 3% of FOB or 76.36 US dollars is equal to your CFR. So when you compute with your calculator, you'll get CFR is equal to 2,621.68. So for our third example, the given are X works, which is $20,545, origin other charges $5,000, freight is equal to 3% of FOB, and we are again looking for our cost and freight. Okay, to get the answer, we need to know what is being asked for. So that is the first thing that we always need to look for, what is being asked for in the problem. And then after that, so in this problem, what is being asked is the CFR. Okay, and then when you already know what is being asked, you need to write the formula for that particular Incoterm. Okay, so the basic formula for CFR is equal to FOB plus freight. Okay, but then you are going to notice that in this problem, there is no given FOB. Okay, but you will see that there are variables that you can use to get your FOB. Okay, so your FOB will be X works plus other charges. And in the given, we have X works plus other charges. So in this case, we can use the formula X works plus other charges plus freight. Okay? But you are going to also notice that the freight is based on the 3% of FOB. So we don't have the value of the FOB yet. So what we are going to do is to first compute for the value of our FOB for us to be able to get the value of the freight as well. So we can now proceed to the computation. Okay, so as what I've said earlier, in this case, we need to first compute the value of the FOB. Okay, because the freight is based on the value of the FOB. So knowing the formula for FOB, FOB is equal to X works plus other charges. Okay, so you just need to substitute the value. FOB is equal to X works, which is $20,545, plus other charges, which is the origin other charges of $5,000. So you just need to add both of them, and you'll get the value of your FOB, which is $25,545 US dollars. Okay, now that you have the value of your FOB, you now need to get the value of your freight. Okay, so your freight is 3% of your FOB. So you just need to get the 3% of FOB. You multiply your FOB by 0.03, okay, because you need to get a whole number for you to be able to multiply it to the FOB. Okay, and then when you compute it, or you multiply the FOB by 0.03, you are going to get 766.35 as your freight value. Okay, so you can now already compute for your CFR. So again, the formula for CFR is equal to FOB plus freight. Okay, so then substitute CFR is equal to FOB, which is 25,545, plus your 3% of FOB, which is 766.35. So when you calculate, you'll get the value of your CFR as $26,311.35 US dollars. Okay, let us now proceed to the fourth sample. So in this case, the given is $45,000 for your FOB, and again, the freight is 3% of your FOB, and we are again looking for our CFR value. Okay, so in this case, just like the other problems that we have already discussed, we just need to get the value of the freight, which is 3% of FOB, because in this case, the FOB is already given. So your FOB is $45,000, and you just need to get the 3% of the $45,000. Okay? So again, to convert percentage to whole number, we need to divide it by 100. So 3% divided by 100, that will be 0.03 FOB. Okay? So 0.03 FOB multiplied by your FOB to get the 3%, and you'll get 1,350. Okay, and then just substitute by using the CFR formula, which is FOB plus freight. Okay, and you'll get the value of your CFR, which is 46,350 US dollars. Okay, that is just a simple CFR problem, and that is being solved by substitution of values. Let's proceed to our next sample. Okay, this is a word or a paragraph problem. Okay, a shipment via MV Aurora of 1/40 said to contain cement was valued at 23,000 US dollars for the cost of goods alone. The said shipment incurred an inland freight of $2,000. FCA value was at $25,000. Main freight was incurred to be at 3% of the FOB. We are again looking for the CFR. Okay, so if you're going to look on the problem, we again first need to know what is being asked for. Okay, we need to identify what is being asked by the problem. So in this case, the problem is asking us to compute for the CFR. Okay. The next thing that we need to do is to write down the formula for the CFR. Okay, so the basic formula for the CFR is equal to FOB plus freight. Okay? So when you look at the problem, you can notice that there is no given FOB. Okay? But there is a given FCA value. Okay? So when there is a given FCA value, you need to check or you need to know if the given CFA value can be used to compute for the CFR. Okay, so in this case, we all know that the answer is no. We cannot use the FCA value to compute for the CFR because CFR Incoterms are C shipment. Okay, so FCA are only used for the air shipment. So in this case, we really need to get the value of the FOB. Okay. So in this problem, there is the value of or the cost of the goods and the value of the inland freight. So with all those given, we can now compute for our FOB. Okay. So FOB is equal to $23,000, which is the cost of the goods alone or the X works, plus the other charges, which is 2,000 inland freight. Okay, you just need to add them all up and you'll get the value of your FOB, $25,000. Okay, next, now that you have the value for FOB, we can now proceed to get the value of the freight because it says in the problem that freight is 3% of the FOB. Okay, so you just need to multiply your freight by the 0.03 or 3%. And you'll get the value of your freight as 750. Okay, so we now have all the values that we need for us to be able to compute for the CFR. Again, the formula for the CFR is FOB plus freight. Okay, and then we just need to substitute. Your CFR is equal to $25,000 plus 750, which is the freight, and you'll get the value of your CFR, which is 25,750. Okay. Now let's proceed to the next sample problem. Okay, the given here is CFR, okay, which is 45,000, and then freight, which is 5% of your FOB. And in this case, we are looking for FOB. This is in this problem we are looking for FOB, but this also involves your CFR. Okay, so we need also to know how are we going to use the formula for the CFR if we are looking for a factor of CFR. Okay. So for this, let us still use the formula of CFR because let us use CFR as the terms of shipment, for example, in this problem. Okay, so CFR is equal to FOB plus freight. Okay, so you just need to substitute the value of CFR. Okay, so CFR is equal to 45,000 and then it is equal to 1 FOB plus your freight is 5% of FOB, so that will be 0.05 of FOB. Okay, so by simplifying the algebraic expression, we just need to add all the similar terms. So your similar terms are 1 FOB and 0.05 FOB. So add them both and you'll get 1.05 FOB. Okay, so you'll have in your algebraic expression $45,000 is equal to 1.05 FOB. Okay, so we again still need to simplify to get the value of the FOB, and to do that we need to divide both terms or both sides of the equation by 1.05. Okay, so we just need to cancel out 1.05 on the right side, and on the left side we need to divide 45,000 by 1.05 to get the value of our FOB. So if you compute using your calculator, the value of your FOB will be $42,857.14 US dollars. Okay, so for us to be able to check that what we do or the computation that we created was correct, we just need to check and substitute the values. Okay, so again, write down the formula for your CFR, FOB plus freight. Okay, and then we already have the value of your FOB, which is 42,857.14. Okay, and then the 5% of FOB, which is your freight. Okay, get the 5% of FOB, So, 42,857.14 times 0.05, your answer will be 2,142.86, and that is the value of your freight. So, add your FOB and your freight, and you'll get the given CFR value of 45,000 pesos. 45,000 US dollars. Okay? So guys, please take note that our Incoterms are all computed using the US dollars. Okay? Because again, that is what is accepted for the computation of the dutiable value for the payment of duties, taxes, and other charges in the Bureau of Customs. Okay? So that's it, guys. That is how are you going to compute for your cost and freight. So again, here are the notes to remember in general for the computation of your Incoterms. Okay, so number 1, you always need to memorize the formulas. Okay, remember that the formulas can always be interchanged. Always remember to follow the MDAS rule. And the first thing to do is to substitute the given to the formulas. And remember the rule in algebra that when you are transposing numbers, the sign should be changed. For example, you are transposing a positive number. When you put it on the other side of the expression, it will now be changed to negative or minus. Know the rules of cancellation of similar terms. If the given is a percentage of a number, you can always compute that percentage and then substitute and then continue on solving on the expressions. So I hope that you have learned a lot from this video, guys, and please stand by for our next videos regarding our CIF or cost, insurance, and freight computation. Thank you, guys, and have a great day. Goodbye.